Reason I've drawn you up here into the 3rd floor is because you got to think about this. What do we call this? 2.5 floors, 3 floors, whatever it may be. It's 3 floors because we came up an honest stairway, we came into a real doorway, and this is a habitable, finished area. It doesn't look very finished right now because we got a lot of people working in here, but the whole idea is that this is a room, this is a floor. When you say attic space, what do you think of? Exactly. You think of the place that Anne Frank hid out. You think of where Clark Griswold went through the roof and was heating himself. It's an unfinished, usually at the peak of the area, at the peak of the roof, and it's an area that's not going to be habitable. This is a habitable area. So if you say you got fire on the 3rd floor, I'm going to think here. If you say you got fire in the attic, I'm probably going to think of the void space above us. What can we call this? This could be called an attic, but the void space above us that runs the span of the entire building is called... That's correct. It's the cock loft. So the cock loft. So if you say you got fire in the attic, I do not expect to find it here. I expect to find it up there. So one of the things you want to know about this is there are a lot of void spaces in here. The whole idea of what we're looking at here is old Victorian, old-timey houses, they like to use every inch, every floor they could for as much livable space as possible, although it was not efficient. So if you look right here, we've got a wall. It's about as high as my knee or my hip. What do we call that? That's a knee wall. It's a hip wall, right? So here's the thing. If you look at the pitch of the roof right here, this is the actual roof. This is the pitch of the roof. This is 12-12. For every 12 inches of run, you're going to have 12 inches of rise. That's about a 45-degree angle. Since it's a 45-degree angle, I can take my mind's eye and take this pitch and say this is going here and the floor is going to go here and it's going to meet somewhere out in space here. How much void space do I have here? You're going to look at the wall and that's going to give you, if it's a 45-degree angle, the exact close to the exact amount of void space you have behind there. So I'm looking at 3 to 4 feet. If you don't believe me, you can look behind and you can see actually where that's going to happen. All right? So what happens in here? The fire's going to come up in the wall. We talked about this. We understand. This is where it's coming. It's going to show up through that wall, through the channel. No stopping. It's going to propagate in there. Now, how much void space do we have in here? You can see these rafters probably about 6 to 8 inches. That's enough room for that smoke to go ahead and remove itself up into this void space here. Now if I take these 2 peaks right here, or these 2 pitches right here, and then they're going to meet up somewhere above this ceiling right here, how much void space do I have there? Again, it's about another 3 or 4 feet. That's plenty of room for that smoke to go and get itself out of the way while the fire keeps propagating in the wall. And then if it stops itself due to smoke, a raccoon's nest or something like that, and it doesn't want to go up anymore, you can see it's going to run laterally the length of the building almost. So that's why we want to do vertical ventilation. That's why we're always going to come with vertical ventilation first.